Charismatic leaders use a certain type of body language to help them convey presence, power, and warmth, which are the 3 pillars of charisma, according to Olivia Fox Cabane, author of the fantastic book, The Charisma Myth. Charismatic body language is slightly different to confident body language, which I talk about in a lot of my other videos on this channel. So in today's video, you're going to learn about the exact non-verbal gestures that you need to use in order to convey charisma. Each suggestion will help you convey presence, power, or warmth, which I did talk about in a previous video, how to be a more charismatic leader. Now, before you learn about the specific body language gestures that you need to use, you need to understand the importance of congruence. Congruence means your body language, your mindset, and also your verbal communication need to be in sync. They all need to communicate the same message, otherwise your listener will be confused and it won't help you convey charisma. You see, non-verbal modes of communication are hardwired into our brains. We first learn to communicate with people non-verbally, and then we learn to communicate with them with words. Because of this sequence of learning that we go throughout our life, body language and non-verbal communication, it naturally impacts us a lot more than words do. That's why when you're in a conversation with someone and they're replying to your questions, but their feet are angled away, or they might be looking over your shoulder, you detect that they're not 100% with you in the conversation. You're tuning in to their body language and the messages they're sending you through their body language, and you trust those messages a lot more than the words that they're using. In order for you to convey charisma, you need to make sure that both your verbal and your non-verbal communication are in sync. They both need to be conveying the same message. They both need to be displaying a charismatic image. Posture is the core of all body language, so you need to think about that first. Now, when it comes to charismatic posture, there are 5 things that you need to think about. How you hold your head, the position of your shoulders, the strength in your back and your stomach, the position of your feet, and how you shift your weight between your feet. I bet you never imagined that posture would be made up of so many things. Think of posture as a line that goes throughout your body from head to toe and toe to head. This line, like a string, is what keeps you strong, grounded, and present. For a charismatic posture that helps you to convey presence, power, and warmth, I recommend that you use this sequence. We're going to start with your toes and work our way up to your head. Shift your weight so that it's evenly between both of your feet. Don't put all of your weight on one leg, and certainly don't lean on the wall. This will make you look tired and bored, and it will definitely detract from each pillar of presence, power, and warmth. So find a comfortable position in between both of your feet. Your feet should be hip width apart. This will make you look grounded, and it will give you a solid foundation from which you can build the rest of your charismatic body language. Keep your stomach and your back strong. This is what's going to hold your shoulders, your neck, and your head. Keep it strong, but make sure that you have some flexibility there so you can move as well. With a strong back and stomach, your shoulders should fall naturally in a confident way. And last is your head. You want to make sure that you raise your chin slightly, not too much because it can make you look a bit arrogant and a bit too confident, but find a good position, a natural position for your head and for your chin so that you can display power and warmth, which are 2 of the pillars of charisma. Your eyes tell a tremendous amount of information about you. Some people even say your eyes are the windows to your soul. Good eye contact is required to connect with people and to communicate feelings and emotions to them, which are really important elements of charisma. If you've ever been in a conversation with someone who was wearing sunglasses, you probably felt a distance with them. You probably felt they were hard to read. This is because their eyes, which reveal their emotions and feelings, were hidden. If you want to develop charismatic body language, you absolutely need good eye contact. Try to have a soft and open focus with your eyes. This means you're not staring too intensely at the other person, which can cause you to frown and look angry. Instead, you have a soft gaze, which shows relaxed interest. To achieve this, you need to think of your whole eye region. Keep your eyebrows relaxed. open your eyes, look at the other person, and smile to bring a positive energy to your face. If you're feeling distracted by someone or something around you, get your focus back to the other person and to the conversation you're having with them by tuning in to the sensation of your toes. If you're feeling shy in the conversation, try to raise your head, your chin just a little bit, because this will automatically help you appear more confident. And at the end of every interaction you have, if you want to leave a lasting charismatic impression, try to hold eye contact with them for 2 to 3 seconds. This will help you to convey presence, power, and warmth, and therefore charisma. Next, you need to think about your head. We've already spoken about your head more in relation to posture, but there are some other things that I need to mention here. Let's first talk about nodding. Now, charismatic people have a certain poise about them when they interact with other people. Poise is a kind of stillness that helps them appear calm and collected in that moment. This poise is often communicated by how often and how fast you nod. If you nod too much or too fast, it can make you appear to be overeager or subservient. If you nod too little or too slow, it can make you appear disinterested or aloof. The right amount of nodding is 1 to 2 times at a moderately slow pace. For example, I see what you're saying. Tilting your head is also important to think about. If you tilt your head too much to one side or the other, it can again make you appear overeager or subservient. If you don't tilt your head at all, it can make you look too rigid and inflexible. Tilting your head a little to the side when you're talking with someone is really important to help you convey interest, curiosity, and empathy, all of which are important when you want to convey the warmth pillar of charisma. Tilting your head down can make you look thoughtful and attentive, but if you do it too much, it can make you look too shy, just like Princess Diana. Angling is where you turn your body either toward or away from the other person. If you turn your body toward the other person, it helps you to appear that you're interested in the conversation and that you don't want to be anywhere else. If you turn your body away from the other person, then it signals to them that's where you want to go. When it comes to charisma, a big part of charisma is being present with the other person. You cannot be present with the other person if you're angling your body away from them, if you're indicating to them that you don't want to be in a conversation with them, you want to be somewhere else. But at the same time, you don't want to appear too confrontational, which can happen if you are directly facing the other person. So you need to find the right balance, the right angle to have when you're in a conversation with someone, so you appear that you're interested and you want to be with them, but you don't want to be too confrontational or too invasive. When aiming for charisma, particularly in one-on-one conversations, you want to try to directly face that person, but have a very slight angle away from them. Gesturing is a great way to show warmth, presence, and to connect with the other person. Gesturing mostly happens with your hands and also with your arms. For example, you can gesture people into a room with a slow arm and hand movement. You can gesture towards someone or something instead of directly pointing to them. And you can lightly touch someone's shoulder or elbow if you want to convey kindness and empathy toward them. Just make sure that you do this with the right person and in the right way so it can't be misconstrued. Fidgeting is something that charismatic leaders avoid, and you should too. Fidgeting is a sign that you are upset, irritated, distracted, or that you lack confidence. None of these things will help you appear to be charismatic. People might fiddle with an object in front of them. They might touch their hair or their nails. They might tap their foot underneath the table. Or they might tap their pencil on top of the table, or rearrange items on the table in front of them. When this is done excessively, it tells the other person that you're not present with them, and it detracts from your charisma. So if you're somebody who tends to fidget, then stop, because this will detract from your charisma. Personal space is our territory in which we feel comfortable and safe. If somebody is too much in our personal space, we can feel invaded and crowded. If somebody is too far outside our personal space, then we can feel alienated or rejected. The difficult thing with personal space, though, is it's very much dictated by the culture in which you grew up. For example, my version of personal space could be very different to your version of personal space if you didn't grow up in Australia. And when it comes to charisma, personal space is incredibly important because ultimately you want to make the other person feel comfortable. You can't make them feel comfortable if you are not respecting their personal space. To give you some guidelines to go by, in most Anglo-Saxon cultures, the right amount of personal space is about an arm's length away when you're in conversation with another person. In many Asian and Latin cultures, it is much closer than arm's length away. In crowded spaces, we're likely to accept much less personal space. In larger rooms, we generally want more personal space. I recommend that when you're trying to convey charisma with someone, you gauge the right amount of personal space with that person. And what you need to look for here are if they move away from you, if they take a slight step back when you're in conversation with them, then that is a sign that you could be invading their personal space and they want to move away slightly because they need more personal space. If they take a step towards you during a conversation, that means you are not in their personal space enough and they're trying to get closer to you so they can form and feel a connection with you. Mirroring is another body language technique that is used by charismatic leaders all of the time. Mirroring is where you mimic or copy the body language of another person in order to connect with them better. There are a number of ways that you could use mirroring. First, in general conversations with someone, you can mimic and copy their body language to establish rapport and develop a better connection with them. Look at what posture they're using. Look at what they're doing with their head. Look at the gestures they're using and also the amount of personal space. Try to identify this and copy it so that person feels that you understand them better. You can use mirroring with somebody who lacks confidence and who is withdrawn in their body language to help them feel more relaxed and confident around you. Think of a one-on-one meeting with an employee who might be a little bit nervous. At first, you can mirror their body language to develop that connection and that rapport with them. Then you can shift your body language away to a more confident, relaxed state, and hopefully they will follow your lead. This is the mirror lead technique. Mirroring is also really helpful when you want to disarm people who might be defensive or who might be angry. So they probably have their fists clenched. They might have their arms crossed, their legs crossed as well. They might even be slightly angled away from you. Here, don't try to mirror their body language, but instead try to break their body language by handing them an object that they need to hold. The more aware you become of your own body language, the better you'll become at reading other people's body language, and the better you'll become at using body language to convey charisma. I encourage you to start trying out different body language postures and gestures and movements to find the body language that feels more natural to you, and to also find the body language that help you to develop and to convey charisma to other people. Because as Olivia Fox Cabane explains in her book, there are a number of different types of charisma that you can display and that you can use. It depends on the situation you're in and the people you're with. If you want to check out this book to find more about body language for charisma, or also the different types of charisma, I will put a link in the description below. And I encourage you to watch this video up here, which will help you to become a more charismatic leader. Thank you so much for watching this video about body language. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit the like button below, subscribe to my channel as well for more content like this in the future, and I will see you next week in another video.